right, should be live. Just gonna check here. What do we got going on? People. I'm trying to do more of my alt tech, so Odyssey, please follow me there. Rumble, please follow me there. Just doing a check, make sure I'm live here. Site. Just doing this on the fly, guys. Apologies. Make sure I'm live. We're live. All right. So, welcome everybody and fellow spellbreakers. Had a bit of time today. I know I've been behind on the interviews, and for a while I've started to want to do what I call Donny's takes. So there'll be new segments, just single topic. And I thought, what better topic than the shot heard around the world, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. So I want to give my takes for today. First, just want to recognize our sponsor, Eric Mace at macelifecatalyst.com. For those of you who may not know, the MACE Energy method is a method of energetic healing developed by Mr. Mace himself. Eric is a practitioner of the MACE Energy method. I worked with Eric personally to, let go of kind of blockages and baseline anxiety and anger that I was holding on to for years. I did one session with him. I felt a lot better. So for those of you who have tried other things, who feel like you still have either energetic blockages or kind of unresolved trauma, and you've tried other things that aren't working, highly recommend just reaching out to Eric. His email's on the screen, Eric Mace at macelifecatalyst.com. He offers money-back guarantees. He'll tell you what he does. He's a really good guy. If you have any problems ever, just reach out to me, but I don't think you should. So yeah, full disclosure, if you use his service and it goes well and there's no refund, I do get I get paid on that, but I used him personally and I like him very much, so I would recommend reaching out to him. And what's really cool about his energy method is you don't actually have to disclose what you're dealing with. You don't have to tell some stranger your vulnerable personal issues. In fact, he doesn't want you to, and that's part of the interesting part of the MACE therapy. So please reach out if you can. Also, if you want to just buy me a coffee and support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/the Spellbreakers podcast. Honestly, guys, even the tiniest bit means the world to me. My first donation, I was the happiest I've ever been. So, if you're able to, please support it. I put a lot of time and energy into this podcast, but I get it. Times are tough. Just like and share is the best thing you can do as well. So, without further ado, let's jump into this. And first, I just want to hope and make sure all of my fellow spellbreakers, guys, we're doing some deep breathing here. This is very energetically intense times. This is definitely illusioning. That's pretty obvious. This is a very intense, highly emotionally charged period of time with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump here. So first, guys, if you're getting sucked into this, and especially my American friends, and all my chats with Americans, everyone's losing their mind, and I get it. This is very heavy news, but yeah, just let's take some breaths. Whew. Let's just relax. It is intense, but a lot of people predicted this as well. For me, I think this is part of a larger narrative, but I want to give credit to Bernhard Gunther, who we had on here. I'll get to his post in a minute, but he outlines that, hey, maybe not everything is just a total psyop. Maybe things also just happen and are crazy and unexplainable, and we try to look for meaning and explanation, and part of that is thinking everything is a grand conspiracy. So I like that mentality, and I love Bernhard generally, and I love his takes, right? But in the shooting, a lot of things are pretty fishy. as well, right? So I want to get into that today. So I want to get into, first and foremost, guys, don't get super sucked in emotionally to this, as intense it is. They always want you to get sucked in, right? We should be asking, what are they trying to hide from us? Usually this is when they sneak something in the back, new policies, procedure, or, the stock market crashes, or, digital ID, or something like that. So, always try to ask, what's behind, what's really happening as well, though. Just in general, if you're basing your emotional state on politics, you're always going to be loosed, and you're always going to be unhappy, because it is a cesspool of debauchery and evil. So anyways, what do we know so far? Well, honestly, not that much. So we have the the picture seen around the world here, and I'm just gonna pull this up, make sure I'm looking okay here. Right, we got the emblematic photo, Donald Trump, Phoenix rising from the ashes here. And even this, people have really pointed out several things. For example, this flag here that we see in the background, well, it shouldn't really be there, because that's literally how that flag is doing. That's actually, from a sniper and security point of view, that actually would show the windage for anybody who would want to target a former president. So that flag, I think, in itself is a violation of security. We have the ear. We have the ear that looks like it wasn't really shot, but it was bleeding after he fell to the ground. We have these points of blood. We have, of course, the female security officer that everyone, or Secret Service officer that everyone's ripping to shreds, saying, don't hire women, DEI. As well, we have this here. Why was Trump able to, look, they're not even covering him, right? Right after an attempt on a person's life. Right, they should be totally covering him. There should be no reason for him to be clear, even if the bogey or threat was removed. So, needless to say, I'm sure you guys are all hearing it. There are a ton of narratives, right? And anytime there's a mass event, there's like a fracturing of narratives. So, what I want to just first and foremost say to everybody is, we don't know. Okay, we don't know. You weren't there, and even if you were there, you wouldn't really know, right? You'd probably know more than what we know, but even still, is this totally fake? Probably not. Is this totally real and unscripted? A lot of people I know in the security industry say that probably inside help if this were to happen, and I think their arguments are good. So, who knows? The interesting part of this is that now we have the Democrats, or the liberals, who are now starting to really question narratives publicly, right? So they call it the blue anon. So that's what's interesting, is like, it seems like people on all sides are now saying something's not right about this. And, I would say that that's probably the only thing I'm more confident in, is that immediately the narrative came out that something is not right here. And so, right, let's just go through this. People saw and reported to the police that there was an assassin that climbed the roof. People could see it, I believe, even a few minutes before. So I don't want to show anything graphic here. I don't think this video is graphic, but you see him slinking up and hanging out there. People are really...
What's happening?
And the military will take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than
they're literally calling out to the police.
There he is.
Okay, we got dozens of witnesses. They saw the shooter. Right. Yeah, he slinked up there. He's on the roof for minutes. It's reported to police.
We have people that
right here, right on the roof.
It's much tougher than
they're yelling at police. So a lot of people are saying this is proof of inside baseball with Secret Service. It's not clear who they were talking to. Were they talking to local police and there was a fumble, or was it actual Secret Service and they did nothing? Again, we don't really know all the facts. It could just literally be incompetence, or this could be a massive setup, right? And then here, of course, everybody's ripping on this lady. I feel kind of bad for her. But look, you take the job, you got to do it, right? These guys are all over Donald Trump, risking their lives. She's kind of hanging back here. Oh my God, it would suck to be her right now, right? So Jake Shields here. It's exactly why women should not be in police, military, or Secret Service. Her one job was to jump in front and take a bullet for Trump, but instead she cowered behind him. I didn't watch the whole video of what she did there. I mean, this picture obviously doesn't look good. But yeah, and people also side narratives of, this push towards DEI and 30% women Secret Service, But anyway, so I don't want to go too down the rabbit hole of what happened and what didn't happen. The real question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is the effect? What are they trying to use this for to push us into? And what should we do about it? Well, first and foremost, as I said, just deep breaths, guys. Just calm down. It actually doesn't affect your life as much as you think it is for people who are just losing their minds, thinking this is the end of the world. I do think this is obviously going to be used to ratchet up left versus right, civil war. Tim Pool is just loving it. Tim Pool, if you guys don't know, is just constantly saying civil wars coming, which is funny because he's just this tiny vegan looking bro. Never wish for civil war. It's not what you want to have. Okay. Anyways, and what's interesting now is there we go. There is this what would you call it? Narrative, this Messiah narrative. And I've spoken about this before a few times. This idea that I believe Trump is being set up to be, it could be the Antichrist, or the new Messiah or something, so I think about, in terms of the Antichrist, the only two people I thought who could fit the bill if they're actually going to go for that script would be Elon or Trump. And I think after this, Trump, it could be so I got money riding on Trump for a few years now that he's going to be president. I think for sure he is. I think this solidifies it. I think you see with Joe Biden, they're basically throwing in the towel with him. He's going to go unabated, blah, 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 blah. Don't want to really get so into politics. If you know, guys, I actually try to steer away a lot from this kind of stuff just because it's boring. In the chat here, Jody said, Bernhard keeping me sane. Yeah, Bernhard keeps everybody sane. I love that guy. He's amazing. Okay. But anyways, so what do I mean? This Messiah complex here, right? So right here, they're like, he turned his head, 0.3 seconds, right? It's like, that would have been death. He just turned his head and skimmed the ear. Now, people are saying it wasn't a bullet that hit his ear. It was, he hit one of these teleprompters and that shattered glass. That's more probable. I don't see this ear as something that was shot by a bullet. It's just, to me, yeah. So, this kind of feels like we're getting closer to the final act here. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they're splitting people off into with us or against us, right? You're either with us or you're with the terrorists. Joe Biden, Trump is a threat to this nation, while Joe Biden in the same week is calling, Zelensky Putin, and Kamala Harris Trump, right? Who knows? Who knows, who's behind that face there with Biden? Is it a mask? Is it an actor? Is it really just a delusional guy who's apparently the leader of the free world? Regardless, I think it really shows the comedic, almost, dreamlike quality of our world. It's just so ridiculous. And I think it's meant to demoralize, right? When you have somebody, the leader of the free world like Joe Biden, who's stumbling, fumbling, making errors, that's just basically one of the final nails in the coffin for this idea of America, the moral leader of the world, right? So there is, all of this is part of the, takedown of the West And as well with Trumpy, I think they're setting him up to be an almost Messiah-like figure, right? So, right. So, right, with us or against us, Blair, right, trans lady, trans, whatever. If you're voting for anyone else, you can go blank yourself. That's where I'm at. Yeah, right? You're just whatever. Yeah. And it's funny, even conservatives like Fuentes was rightly so pointing out the fact that, Trump isn't really as radical as people think, right? And Trump locked down America. Trump racked up debt. He doesn't drain the swamp. I don't think Trump is our friend. I don't think he's some hero. I don't think he's the devil incarnate. I honestly, for me, I don't think, you can get to the level of president without being part of the system. That's me personally. I know Barnhard has a different theory, and that's fine. Yeah, but, so we go in here and we just do Trump. We'll just search God. Right. This is his Twitter here. Oh, they're trying to keep this. All right, here you go. Right, Trump, blessed by Jesus. All right, Trump credits God. I mean, I would. I don't, blame him. God protected. God is on our side. Right. This is This is peak louche. Heart touching. Trump supporters. Yeah. I mean, why not? Okay. God bless him. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Some mathematician apparently calculated the odds that that this happened and determines mathematically it was a miracle. If you believe, yeah, okay, yeah, this idea that Trump is a godly person is just so funny. Christians, Trump is a serial, adulterist who lived a debauched lifestyle, of like greed and excess. And I love how these conservative Christians are just like, he's our guy. He's not, he's not. I mean, please, like, I don't want to, if you like him, there's no beef. I don't want to do like an us versus them, but I just think the whole thing is funny, right? This idea of Trump as a savior. I mean, I think Trump is hilarious. I'd like to see him back to the White House just from a comedic perspective. I do think it's sad that America, the leader of a free world, it's either, two geriatrics. One is a reality star and the other is a corrupt, guy who can't even identify people he's talking to on the world stage. There's millions of genius people who could be running it. But it gets into the idea of like, what is the president anyways, and what is America? Yeah, right. Glory to God, deliver us from evil. What is evil to try to kill somebody? Try to kill Pope John Paul II and President Trump. Right, they're protected by God. Right, so they're Adam Green. He talks about this for a while, and same with CJB Books, Christopher John Bjorkness, that Trump really is being set up as like a Messiah, right, which it would be an Antichrist, and I think this solidifies it for him. Absolutely. I wonder what his poll numbers are. It'd be crazy, right? But this idea, I don't know. Yeah, this guy here. What was this? Yeah, he said he had a dream. Let's see if we can get audio.
I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free. Come toward the. I saw him winning.
Yeah, and there's another video with this guy. He had like in a vision. People are calling this guy now a prophet, right? And some other people are referring to Trump as a prophet of God. Yeah, he never. Yeah, God bless. Well, and this one here, they claim that they see the bullet. Pew. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, right. Trump is literally touched by God. God bless. So one thing maybe this is it here. Boom.
Rising up, and then I saw all throughout America, and I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking. People say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting. And
boom. All right, so I think this actually really tees up what I think is going on here. So let's put on the tinfoil hat for a minute, okay? Thesis, antithesis, synthesis, thesis. We have the World Economic Forum, right? Almost Bond-like villain, Klaus Schwab. He's a bad Bond villain, right? He comes to the stage. It's not like they're doing anything in secret. They have proper, full, video media team telling them, that we're useless eaters. Noah Harari, all telling us, Yuval Harari, I forget his name, telling us, humans are post free will, you got to eat the bugs, all of this stuff, right? So this, rightly so, starts to get the awareness of the right, who say, hey, there's a bunch of psychopathic globalists who are trying to take over the world and make it a slave colony. And so, rightly so, people start rising up and resisting. So in comes what David Icke calls the modern alternative media, the MAM. And so we have the Alex Joneses, we have the Tucker Carlsons, we have all those guys who seem to be always a day late, a dollar short. I call them kind of astroturfing, knowledge that's been known for years. Anyways, so in they come, right, and start spreading this message of resistance against the globalists, against the World Economic Forum. Right now, we're drumming up this new populism on the right wing of kind of pro-human futures, and Elon Musk is now seen as a figurehead of this, even though he is a post-humanist, and he's developing technologies that will turn humans into robots. But now he's part of the resistance, and you have to give credit where credit's due. Twitter is much better than it was. However, I think all of this is what I call release valves, right? So, for example, with Twitter's censorship was hitting a fever pitch to the point where people were starting to move to Gab and other alternatives en masse. And so I think Elon was brought in there to basically stop that, right? So if you look at the world and the agenda, right, they're always pushing as hard as they possibly can, and then as soon as it's too far, they pull back, right? And that's the release valve. And the people controlling those release valves are the mainstream alternative media, right? And those are people like Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Brett Weinstein, Tucker Carlson, Jordan Peterson, even though Jordan Peterson's totally spiraling lately, but right. So we get to a point when people are really starting to lose it. Maybe that would be, actual civil disobedience, actual resistance, grassroots uprising, and then all of a sudden the release valve is let go. So that's what I really think is happening now, right? We've had the era of crazy wokeism, authoritarianism the last 3 years, all the things that are genuinely bad that I think all decent people should resist. Even if you're liberal, even if you're progressive, right? You should be resisting the more evil elements of these agendas. But then what we're seeing now is the pendulum is now swinging to the right in a big way. And part of it is this kind of Christian orthodoxy. I call it almost like neo-Crusadism, where they're almost like, a lot of Christians are now having rhetoric like this is a Christian nation. Nick Fuentes is like, America should be a Catholic nation, which is hilarious because it was Protestants, who were fleeing that. But as well, all of these dichotomies and polarities, right, that will eventually, lead to insanity. Right, but long story short, the pendulum is shifting towards this great awakening narrative, right? So Twitter. Just think about timeline, right? Twitter starts to become super based. Tucker loses his job, moves over to Twitter. Now Tucker is a free speech hero. Then all of a sudden, people start getting really shifty about Israel, pointing out a lot of, the corruption and stuff. In comes, the great noticing, as I said. In comes Alex Jones back on the platform. Nick Fuentes, all of these guys at perfect times to start pushing this narrative, right? Us versus them, good versus evil, Christians versus the Satanists, right? And now I think this whole thing with Trump is going to exacerbate that, right? So I really think we're going to get into some pretty spicy times where it will be like you're either with us or you're against us, And so just, guys, my recommendation is just to be really aware of that and to just take some breaths and kind of unplug, right? At least for me, I don't see this as our fight. I don't see there's much we can do. Obviously, calling out evil and all of that is good, but I just see there's this mass movement, right, which is now the antithesis, and then the synthesis, right, what comes next is what they wanted all along, right? So that would be the system they wanted all along. So maybe they didn't want the full, you will eat the bugs, microchip in every person against their will, VR life, maybe they want something, you still have the microchip, but it's based and cool, and you can retweet Elon in your brain, without going to a keyboard. I don't know, but I see this narrative coming of like Christ is winning, and there's a lot of good things about Christians, and I always give Christians respect for resisting evil, right? So I'm not like beefing on this. I'm just saying you can see this being set up, right, where it's an us versus them, like we are on the side of God, right? And just be careful for that, because that almost never ends up going well. So, yeah, that's what I see. I see this whole thing being a setup to a crescendo where, like, Trump comes in and he has this, like, Messiah savior complex, and he's going to save the world from evil. He's going to, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, he's going to end it, Israel-Palestine, he's gonna end it. And that would actually set him up for to be the Antichrist. So yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it. I don't know for sure. That's just how I see things. So I'm gonna check comments here, see if anybody's in the chats. Let's see. Yeah, not many. I think people are just chilling. Yeah, guys, feel free to put some comments in if you got any questions or comments. Yeah. Let's see, Trump, Messiah. I spelled that wrong. Yeah, people really do. Yeah, Trump is the Messiah. All right. So we have
who is Edom, who is Rome, who is Christianity, who is Western civilization. And we know, as I said before, that Esau is divided into three parts. There's the gaiva, the arrogance, which is communism, Russia. And then there is the mirma, the fraud, the imposter, which is Europe, of Esau. And then there is the pleasure, is of course America. That's why you have three parts of Western civilization, because Esau had three fundamental characteristics, as we see in the Torah. What I believe is the one who's going to switch from Yahweh to Yavoid is Donald Trump. He will turn America from Yahweh to Yavoid. Because everything he says indicates that. He's going to really be a tremendous president in the United States. Tremendous. He's going to stand up to all the nations of the world. He's going to side with Israel when he realizes that they cannot make peace with Israel, as I've said before, because it's theologically impossible. And that's why I believe, remember I said that the Gematria of Donald Trump is Gematria Mashiach ben David? You know what that means? Do you know what that means? That his name is a Gematria? Of course, that doesn't mean he's Mashiach ben David. Let's forget that, right? That's out. You don't realize something. Somebody who will turn a nation completely diametrically opposite is a Messiah. For them, yes. He, I believe, is the Mashiach of Edom. Not interesting?
See,
because think about it. What does the Mashiach do? Right? He turns a nation, basically that's going awry. I mean, it's collapsing with the evil and immorality. And he turns it around. That's a Messiah. The Mashiach is nothing more than an anointed one, right? That completely reverses the order of something. Trump, I believe, is the Messiah of Edom, of Esau. And therefore, he will take them from Yaved to Yavoid.
Yeah.
From someone who afflicts Israel to someone who will assist them. And believe me, he's going to be fabulous with the Jewish people. Like I said, he knows them. Real estate, that's why he's in real estate, I said, because there's so many Jews in real estate. All the ideas, you know. And Ivanka and his brother-in-law, not brother-in-law, and his son-in-law and his chief legal counsel and so on and so forth. He's got a lot of Jews working for him. And he likes them, you see. Therefore, that's who he is. He's a Mashiach of Edom. Because he's going to turn Edom around from Yaveh to Yavoid. He's going to purify Edom.
There you go. He's going to purify Edom. Yep. Okay. Yeah, Adam Green. He's been talking about this for a while. He's the guy to go to for an in-depth analysis in this. Yep. And then, guys, as well, even Stu Peters here is spiraling. We're going to do Stu Peters. He's like, why are they spraying tractor? Well, if there was a bullet, Stu, that hit a hydraulic line. Right? Right? Because that's on the lift, so there'd be a hydraulic line there. If that was a real bullet, it would hit the hydraulic line, and that's spraying heated hydraulic fuel. That would be... Right? Stu is now saying, woman's no place in Secret Service. Oh, yeah, the shooter apparently was in a BlackRock commercial. It's true. You can't make this shit up, right? So whenever you see this, you're like, is everything staged? It's... Oh, my God.
School
there he is right there.
Gave as much as he could to help the community.
Once more.
I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
There he is, right there. BlackRock commercial. Yeah, that's pretty tinfoil hat. You gotta admit. Yeah, Stu is right there for what he says. Yeah, now, the attempt on Trump's life is, Mossad. All right. Early suspects include Mossad. So this, guys, this is how we're played, right? So people are becoming more and more aware that, the Israeli agenda isn't really your friend. They're doing a lot of suspicious stuff. I'm just going to leave it there for now. But Trump has been the biggest ally of Israel. He literally even won an award. They gave him a silver statue, or it was a replica of the, what do you call it? The Holy Grail or something, to acknowledge Trump's work in saving the Jews. And they call him Messiah or Mashiach or something. I forget, right? So he's highly venerated, and he's done a lot of work. And he says his position clearly that he's staunchly pro-Israel, and they gave him awards. So this idea that now people are becoming aware of Israel, now everything bad has to be because of Mossad or Israel, it's just laughable, right? So I don't know if Stu really means this, or Stu, again, it's mainstream alternative media. I don't know, but it's just so silly, right? Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? But just everyone's spiraling. Hopefully, you guys aren't. And Alex Jones just totally losing it. And again, guys, it is you know, it's intense stuff. But we should all gotta calm the hell down because they want to rally you up. And the real question we should be asking ourselves, and please chat below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and join their Telegram. I'd love to hear your discussions. But like, where do you think they're going to take this? Right? I think they're going to ratchet this up. Civil war, good versus bad. Yada yada. Right? Okay. People are waking up. Infowars. Already got the t-shirt, guys. Already got the t-shirt. Bulletproof. Hell yeah. Love it. I mean, it is kind of cool, but fuck. Here we go, right? Now, Alex Jones acts like he's a, Baptist preacher all of a sudden, He's like, I hear God every day. It's just such a joke for a guy. Whatever. Not a deadly wound. Satan's forces are openly trying to kill Trump, right? So Trump is protected by God, right? Everyone's Revelation 13:3. It's funny it happened on the 13th, And I saw the heads as if one were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all of the world wondered after the beast. And after them, right? So this is actually saying that Trump is the Antichrist here, which is funny because, saying he's the beast. Yeah, okay, right. Right, yeah, key, never surrender. Yeah, he is a comedian. Most people like him need shows. Okay. Right, yeah, see? I mean, it's funny, but, they want us to be here. You don't have to be here. You literally just pull out of politics. It's all insane. I hope you guys are cultivating politics that matter. More importantly, make sure first your friends and family are taken care of. You're working together. Build alternate systems. Grow your own food as much as you can. Start with chickens. Work your way up. Meet local farmers. Help work barter. Make trade networks. Just live good lives as self-sufficient as you can. That's the answer. It is not this. Yeah, this is kind of funny. The mainstream media first said, oh, Trump got spooked by a loud noise. So this is a parody here, but yeah. Right? So they always are creating this loosh, right? It's this polarity. It's like with us, against us. Christian Satan. Good alternative media, evil mainstream media. Yeah. All right. Anyways, I'm going to check chats once more, and then we're going to call it here. No chats. Rumble, checking Rumble. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Just wanted to give my take here again as a final conclusion. It is serious what's happening. Take some deep breaths. Don't get super emotionally charged, because this is a great loosening event, of course. And ask yourself, and let's work together on figuring this out. Is like, where do they want to go with this narrative, right? Where does this go next, right? And to me, it's more Civil War talk, us versus them talk, Great Awakening, all this stuff. Oh. Okay, cut out there. I'm not sure what happened. But anyways, gonna wrap it up, guys. Once more, Eric Mace at macelifecatalyst.com. Issues that you're working with, reach out to him. He'll let you know what he does. You can see if it's right for you. If he doesn't help you, he doesn't charge you. Really great service. As well, if you want to buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/the Spellbreakers Please like and subscribe, guys. I've been pretty shadow banned, I think. I'm not sure, but it seems like it. But I get really good watch times and everything, so please like, subscribe. If you like this, share it. Yeah, hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's having a good day. We got Tommy Schmearer. He said disturbing stuff. Yeah, it is. And Christina, sorry I missed the chat. No worries, Christina. I'll let you guys, if you have any questions in the chat here, ask it now, because I'm going to wrap up here in a second. But yeah, please, guys, I really do hope that, especially now, things are going to get exponentially crazier. You know, they are really trying to ratchet up this idea of end times, right? That at any second things can pop off. And for me, this has been maybe the best source of healing and growth for me, is this idea that, you know, I was afflicted with this for years, and it burned out my entire adrenals and everything. The idea that at any moment, you know, it's all going to pop off. You know, it's going to be, you know, economic chaos. It's going to, you know, no economy left, you know, storms, fires everywhere, no power, you know, gnashing of teeth, World War III. And again, I don't think things really work that way. They can, but most problems, it's a slow descent into madness, right? With like kind of like little troughs, right? You have a big event that pushes the needle quickly, but again, yeah. So, you know, for me, I am banking on the future being okay. And I think we're going to go through tough times economically, socially. I think we are seeing a total transformation of the society as we know it, both due to technology and just the old systems are breaking down, you know. And so in that, it's very scary because it is very unknown, right? We are in a fork of the road for humanity, and that scares people. I find it scary, you know, but I also find it exciting. And there's many times in the world where we feel like it is the end times, right? There's a quote is like 3,000 years old. The guy's like, I forget what he said, but he basically said that, you know, the end time is nigh. You know, it's like we're programmed or manipulated into that. Like, you know, it's either off in the future, like some external person's gonna save us, like Trump. You know, it's going to happen in the future, or at any moment everything's going to go horrible, when it's like actually now in this moment everything is fine. That's the importance of meditation, practicing presence, as well, like prepare, become self-sufficient. You know, these are all good things. But, you know, if you're worried that at any second it's just going to snap off, you know, just don't, because that, honestly, I was like that for years, and it totally ruined my my adrenals, my health, everything. And that's why, like, MACE Energy really did help me, and why I use him as a sponsor, because I had to let go of a lot of just baseline anxiety, constant anxiety, right? Which I think comes with being a truther. That's why I call this my movement the post-truther movement. And yeah, you know, if that is something you're dealing with, just like a baseline anxiety that you're not able to let go, you know, first I do recommend trying daily meditation, try yoga, body work, you know, things. There's a lot to do to help your situation that are free. You know, I just want to be totally honest there. But for me, it helped a lot, and it helped very rapidly. You know, so if you guys are struggling at all, please, this is his email just on the top of the screen here, ericmace at macelifecatalyst.com. As well, it's in the description. It does help me, and it helps you. And if he doesn't help you, then he doesn't pay, and then it doesn't help me. So, yeah, I hope it's a good situation. I think 4 or 5 people have used Eric so far. Eric is, you know, fully safeguards people's privacy. But for any of you guys who have used Eric, please reach out on my website and just let me know how it was. Right? I just want to get, I guess, anonymous feedback and reviews for people. Just want to make sure, you know, I liked Eric, and I just want to make sure people who have used him also helped. It helped them. Right? I just want to confirm that from people if you're comfortable sharing. Okay, let's check once more, because we had some people in the chat here. Oh, nobody's saying anything. It's fine. Okay, guys, gonna wrap it up here. Again, stay sane, stay grounded, stay present. Create badass lives, one step at a time. Don't get loosed. That's all I got. All right.